Hello and welcome back to Safe Forestry. Today we're going to be creating a site on the desktop version of Safe Forestry. So first we need to click the Site tab on the menu at the top of the page. This will be the screen that you come up with, and you just need to select your company from the drop down menu and then click Create. This will enable you to enter details about your site, such as your site type, which is auto-populated there as forest, the name of your site. You can give a brief description about your site. You can then specify the owner of your site, which defaults to the company that we've set up. You then need to input your latitude and longitude values, but you can also do this by getting your what three words. So if we just search for what three words, and then we can find our site on what three words. So we're going to use a mock site of a forest just outside of Peebles. You can switch what three words onto satellite by just pressing that little button in the bottom right there. We're going to use this forest here. So to select your site, you just want to click somewhere around the middle of your site, and then this gives you monument, hoops, ladder, and you click the two pieces of paper to copy. You can paste that back into Safe Forestry, and this will auto-generate your latitude and longitude values. You can also add in your Ordnance Survey grid references, but this is not required. You then want to go ahead and add in the address of your site, along with the postcode if you know it, but this isn't a problem if you don't. So next we want to put in our work managers. As it's a demo site, we're just going to use the same details for each person. And you want to go ahead and put in their telephone number too. This will be available in your site information as contact details for your workers and contractors. So if we now scroll down to the map, this map has zoomed in to longitude and latitude values that we put in through the what three words. This enables you to add markers to show people where things are on your site, such as where there are goalposts, signage, and where your QR code sign-in point is. You can also add in things like your first aid, where the car parking is, where your access points are, and if you have any other areas you want to mark, such as landing points. So you just do this by clicking on the active marker you want to use, and then you click on the map where you want to put it. You don't have to drag it, you just need to click. And you can put more than one of each of these markers, just click in multiple places. And then to change your marker, you just go and collect and click the next marker. So we're just about there with our markers now. You can come back and edit these if things change, or if you want to update the markers that you have in place. So don't worry too much about this. The next thing we want to select is the phone signal strength. This lets people know if you're going to be able to have signal on this site. So we're going to select a medium strength signal here. You want to input what your nearest hospital is, your nearest GP practice, the type of access. For instance, is this all vehicles, 4x4s only, or on foot only? For the utilities contact, you can put the company name, and you can also put a phone number there as well, in case of emergency. The next box here is copy risk assessments. This is a time-saving feature which allows you to copy over risk assessments from other sites within a company. As we don't have any other sites set up at the moment, we can't copy any over. So now you want to click the submit button, and that brings us back to our site overview. To finish setting up our site, you want to select the Edit Layers button, which is next to the button for the key, which shows you what all the markers mean. Editing our layers allows us to draw on our map, create boundaries and other detail on our map. So you just want to click the Add to Layer GeoJSON link. That link takes you to an external site. And if we change it to satellite, this makes it easier to draw around the site to create the site boundary. So next you want to select the 5-sided shape from the menu on the right hand side, which allows you to create a shape which will map the site boundary. This polygon is made up of straight lines, which you can use to map and go around the perimeter of the site. You'll need to add more points around the site where you have curved lines, and you can have fewer points where you have straight lines. So continue to go around the edge of your site, and you can see in the middle here it's creating your area. To finish your shape, you just need to click on the first point again, and you can see this populates your shape. And it also creates some code on the right hand side of the page. This is what will create your site boundary on, say, Forestry. So you want to copy this and bring it over into, say, Forestry. You then want to paste this code into the JSON box and then name your layer. So we're going to call this site boundary, and then click your submit button, and then this will bring you back to the map layers window. You'll see this now says that the map layer has been created successfully, and we can see this blue outline on our site. You can continue to add more layers here to add things such as water courses and show where power lines are on your map and any other information you want to add. But for now we're just going to leave it with this boundary, and we'll head back to our site. So now we've pretty much set up our site, and this is our site dashboard. You can see our boundary, which now has the access markers on it. And if you want to go and click to edit your site, you can now change your site from standby to active or inactive. Setting a site to active allows users to sign in and out of the site. As this is just a mock site, I'm just going to leave this as a standby at the moment. You could also add in documents to your site, and this will be things like your health and safety procedures, safe working practices, or anything else that's relevant to your site for everyone to have. If we scroll down, we could also see the QR code. For the QR code, if you click on this, it will generate a QR code that's specific to your site. This allows users to sign in and out of your site. So you can print this out, and then you might want to attach this to your site entrance, or you can place it in your welfare unit for your workers and contractors to sign in and out of your site using their app. Another feature here is the site risk assessment. We will go over how to create this risk assessment in a further video, but This will be available to users offline if they download the site. Also, once you've created one risk assessment, you can copy over the risk assessments from other sites and then edit it to suit this particular site's needs. And from here, you can also download your site risk assessment. This area on the right hand side is where your documents will appear, and you can click the edit button here to edit this list. So if we scroll down, we can see a number of different tabs. You have the forms, your active responses to these forms, access, which shows you who can access your site, including companies and users. If you click on the Users tab, this allows us to invite new users onto the site. So if you click the invite button here, you can invite any user that is in your company. As we did when we added users to the company, you just need to type in 3 or more characters of their email address. If you don't have this member in your company yet, there is a link there to add the user into the company. You can also see the activity on your site, which shows you when users last signed in and signed out. However, as this is not an active site, we don't have any information here yet. So that is everything you need to do to create a site using Safe Forestry Desktop. To see how to create risk assessments and discover other features of Safe Forestry, please see our other videos.